Dear students, so from this lecture content, that is natural resources, you will be aware about the definition of natural resources. So what is mean by natural resources, and what are all the natural resources, that is resources that are naturally exist on our earth. So what are all the natural resources can be renewable and non-renewable, then types of natural resources. Let us see one by one. So you will be aware about from this lecture content, what are all the resources can be renewable, can be useful throughout the lifespan, what are all the resources cannot be renewable within a short period of time. We'll be learning about geothermal energy, hydropower energy, biomass energy, solar energy, wind energy. So those energy are renewable energy. Non-renewable energy like fossil fuel, coal, natural gas. So these are the natural sediment on earth. If we keep on using, you cannot replace it back within a short period of time, what we call it as non-renewable resources. So what is mean by natural resources? What are all the resources that are naturally exist on earth? Either it can be renewable or non-renewable. You will be going to learn from this lecture content. And followed by that, you will aware about the what are the kinds of natural resources like green cover resources, that is forest resources, how to conserve the green cover of our biodiversity, what are all the anthropogenic activity that affects the green cover like deforestation, desertification, then water resources, what are all the natural water resources we have, how to conserve it, then land resources, so how by anthropogenic activity we are degrading the land resources like soil erosion, landslide. So these and all the causes because of the anthropogenic activity, how to conserve the land resources and mineral resources. So we have many kinds of minerals that are using for energy resources. Then energy resources, how to conserve the energy resources, food resources. So these are the types of resources we'll be learning from this lecture content. And followed by that, the effects of anthropogenic activity on land ecosystem, deforestation, desertification, then salinization, water logging of the land, soil erosion. So these are the anthropogenic activity that affect our land resources. From this, you will come to know how to conserve our land resources. So that is the top soil cover, how to conserve it. Then followed by that, what are all the different kinds of energy resources we have. And in addition to that, alternative energy resources, solar energy resources, hydroelectric power resources, wind resources, tidal energy resources, geothermal energy resources, and biomass energy resources. So these are the many kind of energy resources we have for the energy supply on there. In addition to that, we are using the coal and fossil fuel burn also to supply the energy, and natural gas also already available on the earth in the form of oil, then petroleum also. So these are the alternative energy resources we have it to run the energy supply of our earth, and how to conserve it, whether it can be renewable or non-renewable energy resources. So you will be learning about this lecture content. And followed by that, what are all the kinds of water resources? So what are all the precipitation we have it? We all know earth is covered by majority of the content is by ocean water. So in addition to that, we have our natural precipitation, rain, borewell water, that is underground water, so spring. So this is also again by precipitation, lake water by precipitation, river flow is also there. So what are the different kinds of water resources? In addition to that, we are constructing dam for the conservation of water, rainwater harvesting. So what are all the natural precipitation we have it as a natural resources, alternative energy, alternative water resources, what and all we have it. So you're going to aware about this kind of water resources, how to conserve it, and because of the anthropogenic activity, how we are contaminating water. Inside that, by following by that contamination, what are all the diseases that causes when you're contaminating the water, when you're consuming that water. So that also you're going to learn from this lecture content. And following by that, I told you the anthropogenic activity of mining of minerals. So that also, again, it erodes the soil, topsoil layer, that causes the soil erosion, earthquake, landslides. So the effects of mining of keep on mining the minerals for our energy resources, how and all it affects the land resources, and construction of dam over the green cover forest area, how it is breaking the forest cover, how it is eroding the forest cover and evacuating the wild animals habitat that are present in the green cover. So that causes the animal man conflict. So these are the things you are going to aware from this natural resources content. And at last, after this natural resources, what are all the kinds of natural resources? whether it is renewable, non-renewable, land resources, forest resources, water resources, then soil resources. So at last, all of the things you people can able to aware what are all the natural resources that are present on the earth, how to conserve it, how to use it judicially for the sustainability of our neighborhood. And finally, you people can able to aware how to recycle as much possible, how to recycle, reduce and reuse the things. Okay, hope this lecture content will be useful for you. So be attentive and judicial to protect our environment. Thank you, students.